Right, good morning, everyone, as we head into European trade on Thursday, the 14th of November. We'll have a look across markets and see what's going on after an inflation print out of the United States yesterday. But Republican trifecta, right? They've got control of Congress, right? They have the House, they have the Senate, and they also obviously have the White House. So it makes pushing through measures a little bit easier. For the Republicans. I think it's a good thing that they have complete control of the government, that there is not going to be political civil war for the next 4 years. The decisions that they want to make, they can go and then make those decisions without kind of much sort of pushback from anyone else. So it's probably going to be a positive for the UK economy, for the US economy. He is generally seen as more positive than negative, which is obviously what we've been talking about for the last number of months. So nothing's really changed there. That was obviously expected, and that was confirmed then overnight. Elon Musk in government. Obviously, Elon Musk kind of divides opinion for a lot of people, but I mean, Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, as it's rightfully named. Well, as I said, he kind of divides opinion, but one thing people cannot deny is that he is a good businessman. You cannot be the richest man on the planet without being a good businessman. And I think if they can run the government sort of like he came in and ran X, or obviously Twitter. Like he went into Twitter and sacked 80% of the workforce, and the company still gets the same amount of work done, right? So there's obviously a lot of people at Twitter that just weren't doing anything or doing very little, you know. And if say 4 people do 25% worth of a job, you can just get one person to do 100% and then compensate that one person. So, you know, I think that's what they should do with government. I mean, governments around the world, they waste so much money doing stupid stuff. Like I was reading an article yesterday on the US and on some of the stuff that they spent money on in the last few years. I'm not going to cover it. People have their opinions on things like that, but I think it's like it's common around the world. Like governments around the world just waste so much money doing nothing, and that money can be spent in better places. And I think that's what he's going to come in and do. Just run government like a business. You know, there's a lot of people in government that don't really do a lot and get paid pretty well for not doing a lot, right? So if you can come in and just sack 80% of the government and keep 20%, and the 20% that you keep, get them to work extra hard and compensate them for it. I mean, I was reading one of his posts on X yesterday saying that, you know, if a government official, no matter what department they're in, but if they work in government and you know, they're given money to use and they use that money well, they should be compensated for using that money well and doing good for the country, right? But if you get somebody in that's just wasting money, right, ultimately they're doing a bad job at their job, and why would they be there? So, you know, get people in that are going to work hard, that are going to do their best for the country, and, you know, if they perform, compensate them well. You know, Singapore's ran pretty well, but Singapore have some of the highest paid politicians in the world, right? But they don't have a great deal of them, but the ones that are there, right, have to do well for the country, and when they do well for the country, they get compensated for it. That's which is exactly how it should be. You know, you get so many people in government and so many measures that are taken in government that are stupid. I mean, I was also reading like in the UK, for example, like £100 million last year was spent on translation, right, for people translating for people who can't speak English. Now, I mean, I suppose you can have your opinions, you want, but like, I mean, to ask for or to expect English to be the language that is spoken in English hospitals is not an outrageous claim. Like, you're in the country of England, so, you know, to spend £100 million a year of taxpayer money to get translation for people, I think it's a bit bonkers. But, you know, things like that, you know, you could save £100 million and spend £100 million throughout the country. You know what I mean? And just, if people need a translator, well, then that's up to it's up to you to provide. Or you could have some sort of AI where, you know, Google Translate is a thing, but you can get AI things these days where you can talk and, you know, the AI will listen to you talk and it will translate for you. You know, you could invest £5 million in something like that and have it in every hospital around the country rather than paying £100 million for humans. Just spend £5 million developing your own AI and then, you know, save yourself 95 million quid. I mean, some of the money that's wasted in government is easily avoidable, and then that money can be spent on better places. Yeah, things like that. He'll come in come in and change things around, and hopefully then get the government working better. And then if the government can save a lot of money, that they waste, right, they can pay off some debt, and then taxpayer money can actually be used to improve countries rather than just paying off debt of bankrupt governments. But anyway, that's maybe a conversation for another day. Inflation prints from the US yesterday, all in line with consensus. Nothing sort of out of the ordinary. Inflation's still a little bit too high. Core CPI still up at 3.3%. Again, it hasn't been below 3% since was it March or April of 2021, which to me is a bit bonkers. Why you'd go and smash interest rates lower. But here we are. I want to get it lower so they don't cripple the economy. So that is what it is. And yesterday, before the inflation print, the 50-50 chance of a cut or no cut in the meeting on December the 18th. Right now, there's an 80% chance of an 80% chance of an interest rate cut in December. So markets are moving more towards an interest rate cut. Don't really seem to care about it though. I mean, the US dollar continues to trend its way higher, which is, again, is to be expected. So that's something we've been talking about for a while now. The Aussie, Kiwi, Euro and Sterling all pushing lower. Aussie and Kiwi didn't really get going the same way Euro and Sterling did, but certainly Aussie and Kiwi have played a bit of catch up now. Dollar Swiss, dollar CAD, dollar yen all pushing higher, and then obviously the dollar index off the back of that also pushes higher. So the US dollar continuing to trend its way higher. Stocks haven't done much really up at the highs. A bit of a pullback. Is this an opportunity to buy back into? I would suggest probably. I mean, I still think you probably want a bit more of a pullback than that, to be perfectly honest with you. But again, is being long stocks worth a 1% risk? Pretty much on any day of your trading career, it absolutely is. When the momentum is bullish behind stocks, I think it definitely is. So whether your 1% wins or loses on this particular trade is somewhat relevant over the long term. So I think attempting to get long some stocks up here at these levels isn't the worst of idea. Again, as I said, you want a bit more of a pullback to feel a bit more confident, but that's just not what we're getting. The market is kind of chopping around up at the highs, comfortable trading up at the highs, and let's see how that pans out. But definitely for me anyway, still a bull on stocks. German stocks, the DAX is down, pretty aggressively down, kind of over the course of Monday, Tuesday of this week. Some political unrest in Germany. Markets don't really like political unrest. We should have an election early doors in Germany next year. Gold continues its way lower. It's a bit of a dollar trade just at the moment, so I think continue to be short gold. Bitcoin continues to trend its way higher. Got up to nearly 94,000, 93,500 yesterday, and I think 100,000 is on the horizon at some point over the coming weeks on Bitcoin. So I think continue to buy dips on Bitcoin, continue to sell rallies on gold, continue to buy dips on the US dollar, and equity markets continue to be long. So picture hasn't changed in terms of tradable opportunities. That's still where you've got to focus your attention. The VIX is all the way down at 14 now, so the VIX being down at 14 is a positive for stock market, so it wouldn't surprise me if they started to go higher from here. Let's see how that pans out. But that's my viewpoint on markets at the moment. Has been for a while, continues to be for now. So best of luck out there today, folks. You do have PPI a little bit later on this afternoon, expected to be at 0.2% for the month of October, which is nothing out of the ordinary. So that is a pretty normal print. You do have Jerome Powell at 8 o'clock. Most of us will be wrapped up at 8 o'clock. Wrapped up by 8 o'clock today. You have Governor Bailey at 9 o'clock. So we'll probably review that in the morning, see what they have to say for themselves once we wake up tomorrow morning. Retail sales tomorrow. We'll cover that tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon in the weekly wrap up. But assets or tradable opportunities, same as they have been all week, same as they were last week. That's where you got to focus your attention, in my opinion.